Hello, today I will address economic concerns with urban development in wildfire-prone areas of Southern California. I will start with an overview of wildfires and urban development, explaining how wildfires are impactful to Southern California economically. I will also analyze this problem in Australia and Canada, and then I will evaluate potential solutions to this problem and conclude this issue. To begin, wildfires are a major issue in Southern California. The Los Angeles fires were very impactful. 200,000 people evacuated, 10,000 homes were lost, 29 people died, and 50,000 acres of land were lost. For many of you, you best felt the impacts from the heat waves and poor air quality. Wildfires are also a major problem in Southern California with global warming due to the releasing of carbon dioxide. Economically, wildfires cause homes to be destroyed as well as stores to be shut down, impacting the real estate and the stock market in the area. In a region where wildfires are prone to happen and can have devastating effects, urban development can further worsen the effects. If people invest in infrastructure and housing, these buildings could be destroyed. In addition, urban development requires land, hence trees will be cut down, hence more carbon dioxide is released, impacting global warming. Therefore, the agriculture economy also goes down, meaning that food prices will be impacted. I read an infographic by the Joint Economic Corporation, or JEC, and they state that in the U.S., wildfires resulted in $893 billion in losses each year. With most of the major wildfires coming from California, this number is truly destructive. The author states that the economic costs that are included in this calculation include, to quote, diminished real estate values, lost income, property and infrastructure damage, and insurance payouts, among others. In addition, a major economic disadvantage comes in the ruining of agriculture and its economy due to post-wildfire erosion, and hence to preserve the economy, urban development that encourages wildfires should not be continued. As a government source, the information that is in this article can be trusted due to the high reputation, and due to this background, the writers are very educated in economics. However, the JEC is known for being liberal, which could be a limitation, but since they are presenting factual data that can be proven and backed, this limitation is not significant. Here is a pie chart showing the economic cuts due to wildfires on average per year during the century, with a lot of the data being due to wildfires from California. You can see that the real estate economy has suffered from these wildfires, and income losses round up the top 3 biggest economic losses. I'm sure you know that the U.S. has been through economic hardships, most recently the 2008 economic recession. With wildfires worsening, we may get another one of these, and considering that Southern California is in a period of high inflation, we are not far away. This suggests that further urban development in these areas can hurt the people economically and in terms of financial stability. Another source by Sorgel at UC Santa Cruz discusses the economic need for housing in California in reference to the recent housing crisis. This leads us to the Wildland Urban Interface, or WUI, which is visually shown in this top picture. When development occurs, there will be an uneven distribution of wealth among the people. To quote, development that sprawls out from urban areas to the edges of wild areas will have middle-income commuters, while remote development within wildland areas will have particularly stark inequality. Refer to the bottom picture here, which shows the immense inequality. This suggests that further urban development in these areas would not promote economic stability and veer more towards inequality in wealth for the area, and hence urban development is a major problem in areas prone to wildfires. People start to move out of urban areas due to the soaring prices, affecting the urban economy and the real estate market. Worse, the land outside is fire-prone, increasing wildfire risk. An article by a university in California has a high reputation as an academic institution, and well-educated professors who teach environmental studies demonstrate the expertise of this article. The article is also neutral with no apparent biases, further demonstrating the content's credibility. The issue of wildfires on the economy extends globally. Now we will examine 2 countries that have been heavily affected by wildfires, Australia and Canada. Australia is a country that is very prone to wildfires. A video by CNN News discusses how wildfires are impacting the koala population. The reporter claims that zoos may be the only place to see koalas in preservation efforts as bushfires destroy the wild. The main problem is that urban development involves massive deforestation of forests to obtain the necessary land, and the trees are what koalas rely on. Like Southern California, Australia's economy takes a huge toll due to the negative impacts of wildfires. And if koalas are not preserved in zoos as well, the tourism industry will suffer. The economic significance includes $3.2 billion per year in revenue, as well as 30,000 jobs. Koalas' habitats must be protected, and trees must be preserved to limit climate change. As a result, this video argues against urban development in areas prone to wildfires. Similarly, I also watched a video by Global News that analyzed the town of Jasper in Alberta, Canada, and its potential for recovery following wildfires in the area. Quoting Mayor Richard Ireland's claim, restoration of utilities can be quite expensive and time-consuming, and simple tasks such as roadwork will need to be done. Homes will need to be built to re-establish the real estate economy. Now, if urban development were to be encouraged in such areas, not only would more land be lost for natural habitats and resources, but in the event of a wildfire, a lot of the economy would be lost and more money would be spent on reconstruction. Both sources are similar given that they are international driven. They are videos in which the information is presented through interviews with experts to get their opinion, and this way both channels can maintain their reputation. They both discuss how wildfires are impacting habitats and are causing the need to reconstruct entire cities, which can be extremely expensive. They both also share the same perspective, arguing against further urban development of cities, arguing that though it may provide short-term benefits and pluses to the population, the much more significant long-term impacts and risks are too much to ignore. As both sources are news reporting channels, there is likely to be limited bias. Now we have seen how big of an issue urban development is regarding wildfire-prone areas, we must find solutions. Government programs such as the Community Wildfire Prevention and Mitigation Projects are already in place, which include billions of dollars of investment as suggested by the Joint Economic Corporation. Government programs are proving to have high value in Australia. The Australian High Commission authored an article showing how the Australian government's, to quote, initial $2 billion recovery fund is ensuring those impacted are getting needed support. As they are using these $2 billion Australian dollars very effectively, this may prove to be an effective solution. But in Southern California, government action may not be as effective. To make this solution work, more government programs will need to be in place to keep the economy stable. To not use up more area for infrastructure, these buildings can be built more upward so that the real estate economy does not go down. The major solution would be to actively prevent wildfires by conserving our forests and keeping our trees, which contribute valuably to the reduction in wildfires. I read an article by Applied Underwriters, a global risk services company that addresses economic issues, and they have a high reputation for their global significance and importance. According to them, urban development will need to stop in these wildfire-prone areas if the best results are to happen, but of course this can have a huge economic toll. When governments develop cities, they need to consider the number of structures as well as fuel breaks. The building codes can be revised to encourage fire-adaptive building, and even educating residents can prove to be beneficial and impactful. The government and everyone should come together to collectively mitigate the risks, with many economic issues coming to discussion, especially with the voice of taxpayers. A home with advanced fire-resistant feature endured the Palisades fire, unlike its neighbors. So this is a promising piece of technology to implement. Another solution would be to reduce the vast economic inequalities that have shown to produce several negative effects, as suggested by Sorgel and the article by UC Santa Cruz. This way we reduce the risk of wildfires as people are not forced out of these areas. After examining all workable solutions, the best solution would be to encourage and start fire-adaptive building to resist infrastructure damage, and this will be an immense help in the attempt to stop wildfires. If the government spends more time and investment into the prevention of wildfires, and if people engage in fire-resistant technology, I'm sure we will see lots of improvements as well, but the real spark will be the direct action from people. Overall, wildfires are a huge issue not only in Southern California but also in other countries such as Canada and Australia. Urban development could be dangerous in areas near wildfires as they can excite and cause more wildfires to emerge. With the elevated risk of infrastructure damage, the economy will suffer very badly. We must take an active role in controlling wildfires by preserving our forests while making sure our economy stays strong. Whatever you can do, no matter how small, will prove to have great significance overall, and you will be helping a bigger cause in the end. Here are the sources that I used, and thank you for listening.